trying to equal out with the other person's strength. So, you know, like the idea of Wing Chun was really using a person's strength against them, right? Wing Chun was a woman that invented, you know, Wing Chun, right? And the whole history behind that. So the whole idea of that was so that she could defeat a man, you know, and do whatever she was doing in the history of whatever it is. And Wing Chun is a very good art, but you know, I've seen people get murdered doing Wing Chun too. So, you know, like, it has to, you have to be able to bring it into overall movement. So we talk about Tai Chi, and you talk about Tai Chi and pushing hands. This is a very advanced pushing hands because it takes you in a combat realm. But traditionally, Tai Chi with pushing hands isn't supposed to be wrestling, but it always turns into it, which really is, you know, unless you're really proficient like Chen Yan Yu, right? Like, people are always trying to overpower you, and that's not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to feel the other person's movement and to throw them off balance because of it, but it turns into a wrestling match. So, like if I was doing with you, the Hulk, you know, you would automatically start pushing, and I have stories with that. So the idea of which leads into, and the form fighting, is to allow you to bring the Tai Chi fluidity, movement, strength, to be able to feel another person's strength against them and be able to manipulate movements in combat and grappling when you're on the ground, when you're fighting on the ground, when it goes to the ground. Now on the street, you know, there's different arts like that I trained in, like the African style arts where there's a lot of fighting from the ground. But on the street, you really don't want to go to the ground, you know, unless you're really, really proficient going to the ground. And when you do go to the ground, you need grappling moves, you need to feel another person's energy. Now, when you watch stuff like mixed martial arts on the boob tube, and you see the guys grappling and stuff, they're the professional wrestlers, all very strong people that train freaking every day, but that's competition. So really you want to use the competition of the other person against them. When they compete with you, when they bring their muscle and their strength into it, there's always going to be somebody or a situation that's going to outgun you. And by understanding that, you will have an array of different technique and movement that you can use against your opponent on the ground when it goes into grappling, which is where the form fighting is going to take you. There's a lot of work when you hit in the ground a lot. It just happens to go there. But the first aspect of it is that you're kicking, and your movement through the form fighting is centered, slow, and you move off it. That's where you got to be ladies and gentlemen in that. And you also got to let things tag you and see how you work off of it. So the whole game point of what you're doing here is like if Moshe, right, say if he standing here and we're doing this here, and say he moves in with a punch to my chest. Now, as he moves in for that punch to the chest, go back again. As he's moving in, I'm going to divert it. But say he moves in and he's got to nail it. This is where I move off of it. So the motions has to come in being hit. People just don't want to get hit. But you see people get hit all the time. You can't watch anything, you know, whether they're in the ring, on the street, or doing any of that. That is also going to be your play in. So it's how you get hit. So when you talk about blocking, which is another thing that we could talk about in the videos that we're doing, blocking is also blocking with your entire body. And nobody realizes that. Nobody really thinks about that. Now, blocking a knife, you don't want to block with your entire body. Blocking a crowbar or a bat, to a degree, you want to suck it in and move it, and that's the technique that we'll be doing. Whenever something's coming at you as a weapon, you go to it, all right? You attack it. But even if a weapon does run into you, let's say a knife and stuff, you should be able to hold that weapon there, because once they pull it out, that could cause a lot of problems. You know, you got stabbed. If the guy's good, he's in and out. But if you're there and you hold it, he's not good. You know, there's a lot of people that aren't good. You You know, you don't really want that weapon to come out, depending on what it is. And that's where you get into the different varieties of knives, and we'll talk about weapons and all. But all this technique, you gotta also not fight it so much. You gotta let it also come through. Because in real life, you get socked, you get punched, you get hit, you get kicked, you get stabbed, you know? And when real life happens, and you think about strategy in real life, right? Say, you know, these two guys, pretty big guys, are fighting each other, and it goes to the ground, you know? And then, you know, all the technique and everything goes out the window there, because then you're just wrestling. And you're not really feeling the other contact points of the other person that's going to allow you to make moves or to see what you can do, your escapes. So this is what this is trying to set up for you, you know? So before we do that, I'd like to just see your overall movement today. And I'm going to take you guys out, and you're all going to view it a little bit. And you're going to just do 4-4. Okay, so anybody want to explain to me what 4-4 is? What's the purpose of 4-4?
It's to mirror other opponents.
Say that again?
It's to mirror another opponent.
Okay, you're always going to try to shadow and mirror the other opponent. What's the most important thing about any type of fighting that goes around? All right, so what I'm going to be looking for is your footwork. All right, so I just gave it away. Footwork. How you're viewing and stepping into the other person. If you're just moving like a robot, you're just fighting in a ring, it doesn't happen on the street. So the 4-4 is really trying to bring in a level of concentration with your, your footwork as how you're attacking the other person. We'll explain that a little bit, but I want to see what you guys do, all right? What else are you looking for in the 4-4 when you're out here? What else should you be mindful of?
I was just saying, you said that already too. Spacing and range.
Okay, spacing and range, which is the footwork as well, and timing. So your timing isn't relevant. It's looking at the timing of the person that's in front of you, seeing their timing. And if you can sync with their timing, you will win the battle. If you understand their timing, you'll see a pattern, you'll be able to do that instantaneously. So the more you practice 4-4 and what's going on there is great. What other thing should be aware of in the 4-4? So we got the timing and range and all of that comes out. You're stepping, how you're stepping into a person. What else?
Triggering and targeting.
Okay, well that kind of goes in with the whole idea of the timing and range thing, triggering, targeting, where you're coming from, right? What else, guys?
Pacing.
Pacing. Pacing.
As in, like, how much physical exertion you're doing, like controlling your own.
Oh, you're breathing.
Breath.
Well, that's all through it. Yeah, I guess so. You don't want to run. You don't want to run out of air. So you shouldn't be doing 4-4 going. That shouldn't be happening. You should be silent and deadly.
Kind of like your farts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maintaining.
I tell you, man, skunk technique works all the time. If you really want to get rid of your opponent and you're in a room or something like that, just drink some apple juice or carrot juice and coffee and just
grab your pants. No one's gonna want to touch you.
Yeah.
You ran from a skunk. Right?
You know, there was yeah, I did run from a skunk.
Yeah, left his wife.
I left my Denise standing there. I was gone. She goes, I didn't think you could move that fast. You never, you move like Yoda. Your whole life was Yoda. And when that skunk came, you just like disappeared. I said, move when it counts. And there was no way I could defend against the skunk. That gotta hit you. It's gotta hit you. In that green slime. Oh, woo! I got some stories with skunks. But anyway, okay. What else, guys?
Energy wall.
Energy walls. Okay, all that comes. There's a lot of variables. So
Maintaining core presence the whole time.
All of that, you can't bring all those variables in. So you need to, as you said, trigger it. So you really have to see your attack formation when you're coming in at somebody to develop your stance work. And you also have to be aware of your T's.
So viewing.
Your viewing is very, very important, guys. Right? It's the one thing that seems to elude what we were doing because we just take it for granted. So your T's is the first part of that. Your T's is going to allow you to do whatever attacks you're going to do. So if the Hulk is standing out here, he's got his hands up, right? Come on here a little more. Nice. Right. He's standing here. I'm standing here with my attack. So now my attack, just to give you an idea with the 4-4. If my attack's going to come here, and we're at this range, so here's where you're practicing your range, I'm availing myself of his format, where he's standing, how he's standing, instantly. And that's where the T's come in. When we talk about the T's for simple placement, is here and here. So I can see his feet and stuff, stay in your stance, right? Right? Put your hands up like you were fighting before, right? So here, even though okay, so to give you an example, he let his guard down, he moved down, and his whole position changed. So when his position changed, it changed my attack strategy. Okay? That minor movement had changed my attack strategy, but I'm going to try to stay with the same attack. So at this point here, you see my foot shuffles, and then I move here, and then I move here, and then I throw the punch. So all this movement from here with this boom coming in, but all of this from here, shove, shimmy, all of this turn to heel out to allow this punch to reach. From here, I would have done this. Right? Now that's okay if you want to fake. Right? But here, that little movement from here to here to here, pulls me in. And you see how the toe comes up, and I'm on a big toe to really land, boom, the power of that punch, and then from here a kick or something else will start to come. So it's those little things that you guys don't do. So if he's standing again, either you go this, you see, you all do that, you all do it. Now that's cool, but you're running also into death, right? I want to hit with power from my center and move from here. These are things, so I'm using my T looking. So here, if I'm going to throw a kick, I'm going to just move this way. It's just going to move here, the leg has got to come up, where I was saying out straighter before. It's got to come up, and it's got to throw a kick right from here. Then as I land, you see I land on my heel, and I throw the punch. So one thing lines up, and of course he's just standing there, but I'm just trying to give you an example. When he's moving, it's even actually easier. Because there's chaos, and his movement, your movement is very clear and easy to read, if you're reading it. So again, this goes into practice. Here, you're practicing your visual, you're practicing your timing, you're practicing your range, practicing your footwork, and you can be mindful of it. So it's up to you to how fast you're going to move. You can go 1, 2, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, however you got to go. I would suggest when you're practicing it, so you're bringing all of these variables in, which is going to work in real life combat, when somebody's coming at you with a knife or a gun, baseball bat, crowbar, everything except a chainsaw. You see a chainsaw, just get the hell out of it. Yeah, if you can't go, you know, I don't know. These guys with those chainsaws can be pretty mean. Don't fight a guy. Don't piss off the guy who's taking down the tree outside. And say, yeah, okay, hey, I'm going to charge you an extra $300. Okay, all right. Wait till the chainsaw's down. No, you're not. Yeah, they're hard to defend against. Yeah, those guys with the chainsaws, they just move all over the place, you know. But fortunately, they're not carrying chainsaws on the street with like switchblades. So maybe if you're out in the woods like that, you know. Anyway, so
Bless you.
bless you. So these are all the variables that you should be looking at. That little technique that I did on the attack is really pretty amazing. And what's really also amazing about it, I'm still attacking with power and strength from my center and hitting extremely hard. Okay? So these are the things you got to look at. One other variable that exists in the 4-4 is what? Attack and defense. So, attack and defense. It doesn't allow you to attack at the same time the other person is. Yes, we do that. But this is so that you're working on your movement. So the defender is really working on their blocking techniques. You see? And what's also when it comes through. So the guy that's attacking is always trying to hit you. So he wants to hit you because that's what he's trying to do. He wants to get in close, wants to trick you, he wants to do whatever he's got to do. So the defender, you have to defend. You can't attack off of. Now, more advanced, which we'll be getting into, is, which is really cool, 4-4, Because when you're into that, the guy attacks you, you have to attack right after it. Right? But the difference with that, it's not sparring. Sparring is just, to me, okay, sparring has its merits. You know, a lot of ego comes into sparring with no true technique. Sparring has its merits, but everybody's trying to beat each other and turns to slop. You know, and they're just strong fighters and heavy fighters. Hey, what's up? Grenade. Look at you. Thanks for that treat book. I wanted to. Oh, I didn't bring it. I wanted to ask you some questions about it. Thank you. Anyway, next time. So when you're into that motion, into that movement, if he's standing here, all right, and I'm standing here, and he's got to do his first attack. He does his first. I'm reading his attack before he throws it. So I'm standing here, and he's gonna, and then he comes in again. So but you see how I'm standing up. So this here, I can see who's the throw, and this is where I'm going to move in for the kill. So in your mind, as you're moving against that person, what you're trying to do, you know, is you are also very much involved with how you are planning your attack off of their attack. So it's simple strategy, right? So if he's standing here and he throws a punch here, when he pulls it back, this is my absorb way in. This is my way in. It's just simple strategy, right? And that's why you see boxers or you see people that are in the ring and stuff where they're dancing around a lot, because they know when the guy throws, the other guy's looking for an opportunity to come in. So blocking works how? Blocking truly works on reading the movement before it's actually being thrown. That's how it works. Now when somebody's presenting a weapon or a knife to you, you have all of this stuff going on there, and we're going through with that. You know? So that is also seeing how it's coming, what's happening, and attacking the weapon. That's really, really cool stuff. So this works on all your gray matter, trying to get you out of the limbic system, out of your brain stem, the monkey brain, and start working with your frontal lobes. Right? Getting rid of your ego, getting rid of your flight, getting rid of your fear, and just really standing there facing your opponent. That's all the things of 4-4. So that's a good video to put up for people to really see that and explain. But you guys should be looking for that. And you don't. You're too busy competing. You're not seeing the overall thing. That's what we're going to look at. So now that we're getting into the form fighting and stuff like that that's going to be coming, I'm going to be looking for those things, how you're stepping, how you're moving in. Are you moving just like this? So you watch fighting in the ring and whatnot, and that's just warriors in the ring. They're really tough. It's unfortunate that they get hurt so much. You know, they end up with brain damage and stuff like that. It's a rough sport, you know, but that's what you jump into. But you see, they're always looking, they're always moving, they're always doing this, they're coming in at different things, and they're all looking for that way to get in without getting clobbered when they go in, you know, with the after. You're looking for the overall whole skill set here. So bringing that into 4-4, when I say to you guys, which we're going to be doing, get out on the floor and let me see you mimic movement like you're fighting somebody. You're fighting your energy walls, you're fighting your shadow demons. When you guys do it, I can automatically tell you don't get it. There's no flow, there's no movement, there's nothing there, but you will. And this is what we're working on. All right? So just to give you an example of the 4-4. All right, let's take you and Tim first, right? All right. So you got to face each other. So all those variables have to come in. So here's what I'm saying here, guys. Your technique, when he talked about earlier, right? Your technique should be lined up. So here, you hold your positions, guys. Here, there's a big, you know, like bridge and tunnel, and we're going through here, right? Right? So here's a big gap. How do you fill that gap up? And how do you, who's ever on the attack, and who's ever on who's on the defense, right? So right here, you should be anticipating how the attack's got to go. So the faster you move, supposedly, at that point, when we bring this up to a degree of excellence, the faster you move, it should be good. But right now, you guys just move like you're fighters, you're just fighting. And you don't want to fight, you want to bring technique into it. Because you want to take luck out of it, you want to take the other person's strength out of her power or violence, and you want to be able to manipulate it and use it against them. All right? So before we go into the pushing part of it, I just want to see some of these move with that. And of course, you're excluded from this because you haven't really done that yet. You know, I know you're thinking, I don't want to get out there yet. Don't worry about it. You're not getting out. We've got to do the pushing part of this. All right, so let's say Tim has this attack first. So at this point here, instead of just fearing the attack, you should be viewing your person. How do you view him, Hulk? How are you viewing him? The tease. All right, so what is the tease? Simple, right? So standing there, the tease doesn't mean that you're doing it. What are your eyes doing? Always moving. The eyes are moving, the head doesn't have to move, right? So you can view him through that. So you're anticipating his attack, but you can also manipulate where you want that attack to come from. Did you know that? You can call what he's going to do or what you think, and actually even force your opponent to attack the way that you want him to attack as you get more advanced. Right? You can give little windows, little insights for him to go for, little targets that will allow you to know where he's going. That's really important in weapon fighting. Right? All right, so I think your 4-4, since you guys are experimenting with it, you got to work on range, timing. If you time with the other person, then you're ahead of the game. You got to work on range here, timing, defense. It's all coming in. Your count should be like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? If you're going to throw a double punch, then you can do 1, 2. Don't let your egos rule you. Try to let your technique come in and see how bad you really are, right? Because the whole idea is to discover, all right? All right, so you're going to do the first 4-4, Tim, okay? All right, so stop for a second. Okay, so Tim's attack was pretty cool. What did you guys see in the defense?
On retreating.
Was retreating, but he also was calling the shots, right? He could see the shots, right? So he's doing a little strategy, a little planning. So he was able to see very clearly where his attacks are going to be, even when he did that one when he was coming up here, right? Says he was experimenting. So to bring this into, Tim, get out for a second, right? Come over here. To bring this into light, right? If I'm going to attack him, right? And we're coming in here. So you saw the attack. Did you see the attack? Okay, so the attack went this way, slowly. His hand came up after it, right? But because it came from my center, it would hit really hard. The attack came this way. You see? So I hit, boom. So I can only hit here, boom, I straight right down, coming, boom, and then I could come up with another attack. So I'm gatewaying my attacks. I'm seeing where I'm going to go by how he's standing, right? Not just throwing him. So my point is you just don't throw some technique because you have technique. I've seen a lot of people, you know, get stabbed. They follow through. They may win the fight, but their whole intestines come out because they follow old dogma technique, right? You have to create your technique. So if I'm standing here and I'm going to fight him, and he still has the same block again, because he feels safe with that block. And now I took his kneecap out, I took his inside out, because now my legs are going to work. I can even, boom, move here, snap, and come in. There's all this creativity that you guys have that you're not bringing out, because you're attacking you have to see how you also want to attack. And you defended very well against that. There was retreating, but you were able to see. And what did you do? You kept him at bay. Right? At any time you could have stepped in, we'll just say. You know, so if you're standing here and you do your attack, I can step in after that and move. You know, so this is what the stuff you're looking for in the 4-4. I don't expect to see great things right now, but I expect you guys to work on it and bring it into your shadow demons and your energy. So let's come back out here again. And let's just see these guys move a little bit. We'll get everybody out there except you. Right? Just so we can see how it moves, we got it on film. All right, do your 4-4. Tim, you got your first attack on that.
Me?
Yeah, you attack first. 4 moves. And now you. So see now, you keep going as I'm talking. You can see how you guys are practicing all these variations, right? You don't want to lose your stance in coming in, right? You have to plan out your leg movement on your attacks. The legs are what's going to give you the options to come in, right? It's also going to work on, better kicking. So you want to experiment with your kicks on the 1, 2, 3, 4. And the guy has to be patient and let you move through, right? So everybody's kick should be getting a little bit closer to give you an idea of where it's coming from, right? All right, so that's not too bad. When you talk about kicking, all right, which we'll be getting into, you always want to look for a way in, okay, for a way in. So if he's standing here and I'm watching his kicks, he's going, you block, okay, right? He's going. So if I'm fighting with something on, most of the times you're fighting with boots or something on, you always have to look and anticipate what's going on with your opponent, with the kicks. So your kicks are going where it's got to go. So he's standing here, and I just throw a front kick. He blocks it, right? Okay, come back again, I throw a front kick. He didn't block that too well. Because I'm avoiding the elbows, I'm avoiding the fists smashing into my foot. I'm looking for a way in. Based on what? His movement, his positioning. That's why my kick's getting. And plus, as you get more advanced with your kicking, they actually change in flight. So give you an idea, if he's standing there, now say if I go to throw this kick, he's got to bring his elbow down, which is really painful in real life, right? So if I'm throwing this kick, he brings his elbow down to block it, as we're going this way, okay, and then I follow through and I still hit it, that's gotta hurt, right? So as we're going here, I throw the kick. You see how it moved down? Because I already anticipated this movement. I could see it happening. But you guys don't look. It's the same with a knife, with a bat, with any type of weapon that's out there besides a chainsaw. And chainsaws, blocking chainsaws is tough because they still keep going, We should have a chainsaw class, give you guys in the mask and give one of those fake chainsaws and have. That would be so popular on YouTube.
Next Halloween.
Everybody be watching that. And they all watch it. We could put the fake blood when you get cut on there.
Next Halloween, we can have a slasher off. Everyone dresses
We all die.
slasher.
We all die. Depending, you can bring all those guys that are kicking the trees down.
Resident Evil style.
What's that one guy that he was juggling chainsaws and stuff like that? You're gonna find a guy like that. And they're still going. It doesn't stop like a knife or something like that. Or a gun, you can see the line up, but chainsaws, they still keep going. Like you block it and I just love those things. Okay, anyway. So you got the idea what we're doing. Let's take 2 other people. Let's take you and you. Right? So trying to bring all these variables in, I am not expecting miracles here. But I expect you to be mindful of what we're talking about to try to bring it in. And you guys didn't do too bad. A straight up fighting and stuff like that, it wasn't bad. But now you want to bring it into a higher level of movement. Okay? All right. All right, so now you've got this here, starting your gap. You've got a big gap here. Both experienced fighters, been doing this a long time, have a lot of different techniques coming through here, different strengths, different speeds, this, that, and the other thing. But you can't count on that. What you want to count on is you want to experiment, right? So it's not about beating your opponent, it's about bringing all those variables in that we're doing and working off your opponent. And it's very hard to do. So, you can see this, he's got a little bit speed, he's standing very straight, like he's waiting for the attack here. So right now it's very evenly matched. Vic has very long arms and legs, right? And you're pretty, elongated as well. So this is a good fight, right? If this was a match for out in the UFC out there, you know, this would be like a good match, you know, all right, so let's give Vic the first 4 moves, Vic, right? Bring in those variables. So what's going to count right here on your first move? What should you be looking for? Okay, how are you gonna implement this first move?
Footwork.
Yes. Right? So you can't just see your attack. Remember what I did in the first part when I turned my heel, did all these things? You don't need to move a lot to get to where you are. You need to practice your footwork. It doesn't have to be this huge step. Right? And because you guys are kind of like the same height, but you have longer arms and legs, you can use that to your advantage. Where he has to watch that and how you're gonna move. So I'm curious to see your first move out of the gate here. How much movement do you think is gonna take you to reach your target? Now, Venom, what you're looking at is you're anticipating that movement. You should see the setup, and what you're trying to do is not let him see the setup. And that's the challenge. Okay? All right, so do your first move. You go, man.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Just keep going, guys. Do a 4-4. Try to bring everything into play. Make sure wherever your destination is that you're heading to your destination. Now you see that stop for a second. You see where he brought his knee up? That's what I was talking about earlier. That block, if he would have went through with that kick, would have came through, would have been very painful to him. He would have hit on his toes. So that was a good block. You brought your legs into it, but you're also, that's not blocking with your legs. You're letting his power hit you in the leg, which can cause breaks and bodily injury. So that you should have tried to anticipate. And when you see that, you still, you execute your kick, you still go through with that kick, but you need to change it as you're going through, because the destination is still there. So how you manipulate your knee or how you move your knee will change that. You know, completely change. Like you could be going down and you can flip it up. You know, and that's what you have to see. So that's just one of the variables that come into view. Right? Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, 2 more.
Don't worry, just start over. Right? Go ahead, attack it 4 times. Rah! That kick that you do, that was supposed to be a stub kick.
Yeah.
Now when people are throwing kicks, this is where you got to be a little bit of a gentleman. You know, here you want the legs to have the options to move, so you know, you let them come through, you work with it, so he gets to practice his movement. So if he does a spinning turn kick, you want him to see where he can work on his position. Right? All right, so now, you get an idea of that, all those variables. So let's just cover that. What is one of the things that you're looking for in your 4-4, Vic?
Just line up.
So that would be footwork?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? What's one of the other things you're looking for?
When I say, sorry, when I was saying line up, I was thinking more like center to center. How kind of.
Oh, okay, well that's like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And you said, what, stability?
Yeah, not getting too excited.
Oh, yeah, you should never. You're gonna get excited in real combat, the red zone. You gotta learn to fight in the red zone. Your hands will be shaking, everything's going, but you can still perform your technique. All right, let's go. You're looking for your visual. You're looking for a lineup that you're talking, lining up with your opponent. You're looking to keep that visual in. So really, basically, reading your opponent on the attacks with the blocking and everything that comes in. You're also very much working on how your attacks are going in with your footwork, how you're lining up your attacks. All right. So if he's standing here, and then we're going to call it here. We're going to get into the Tai Chi form fighting stuff, right? If he's standing here, and I'm going to attack him. How's my attack going to be? So we're got a far range, right? I see his center open up, what Vic was talking about earlier. So I have that whole center option. What's my range on the attack? It's not going to be coming this way, right? From here, I'm going to move here. Now, to come up, I can move this way, and then as I'm coming up here, I can move in with that kick. You see? Because it starts to combine. So as you start to increase your 4-4, it can get really aggressive, really cool, and really very good. But you need to bring all those things in so it stays within the control. You're always trying to defeat your opponent through outmaneuvering. Okay? All right. So now let's get into what we were talking about before. So the idea here, since we got you out of here, the idea is feeling the other person's movement and going to the center on it. So this is very advanced, what I call very advanced pushing hands, because it's different in a sense because you're bringing in combat movement. You're bringing in stance work, you're bringing all the things that we're just trying to do here, but you're keeping it connected as much as you can. So we're standing here, our hands are on this here, right? And then from here today, which you can be a part of as well, here, we're going to talk about setting you guys up to actually do the form fight. That's what I wanted to accomplish, that's why I'm doing all of this, right? So from here, all right, so he's got to do his first attack. His first attack is trying to do what?
That's your center.
He's always going to be trying to get me from the center, right? So as he comes in and he's doing his movement, I'm going to deflect him. You see where I just stayed right here?
So he's throwing an actual strike.
He's throwing a strike. He's trying to get into the center. So for now, we're not going to use legs, but that's what we're going to discuss when you guys are doing the other type of fighting. So it gives you a whole format. But right now, I'm just trying to see his strength and tie him up. So now he's coming in, right? You see how I'm holding him here? Right? Right? I'm just seeing that, and this hand is just saying, okay, so now he's still moving against me, right? And this is where I can start to play, where he's going to move around. So you're always trying to manipulate the other person's strength. It's that simple. But if you're wrestling with it, you're struggling with it, let's take Alex out here, because he's a struggler, right? He's a struggler, right? So we're standing here, we're moving this way here. So you're both attacking too. So attack, defense, it's happening at the same time, right? All right, so now he comes in with his motion, and I'm seeing this, and I'm just gonna move. So right here, it just moves. There you go, there you go. All right, so here's his power move. All right? There's the power move, how you manipulate him, take him off the balance. That's what you're trying to do. All right, come in and move with that. Then of course you can get creative. Like I could have gotten more creative with that. You guys got the idea? The whole idea here is to have an even amount of movement. So we're gonna switch you guys with partners around so you really start to get it. I don't know where you want to put that. Maybe over here. Because you guys are gonna be moving all over the place, right? And so you can actually see what's going on. So let's take start with her first so you can explain it a little bit more. But you did it last class. How'd you do last one?
Okay.
All right. You know, it's yin and yang, expanding and contracting. It's the same as when you're dealing with the elements of consciousness. All right? You got the idea? So you can guide her a little bit. All right? You always want to try to equal out to your opponent. All right? And let's just take you two, and you wait till the preacher gets back. We can win.
So touching hands, right? So now we're going to be here, more straightforward. And you're just going to throw an attack, right? You can punch, whatever it is. So all I'm going to do is you do that. So I'm just feeling that.
Now, here's a hit that I let come through. Go ahead, push it.
So that's all right. Is one person attacking, one person defending, or are you going back?
No, you're both attacking at the same time.
Okay.
Now, if you want, because you're training her a little bit,
We're supposed to be moving around.
yeah, you can move, unless you're controlling the whole fight, which right now I'm controlling this. So, you know, all right, let's do that then, just for the idea of practice.
Just go
One
back.
person is the attacker, one person is the defender.
Okay.
All right, so even with you guys. And then you can switch it anytime you want.
So it might be easier to learn.
So it may be easier, the process. Okay, so you're going to be the attacker because you're a violent individual, right? And I'm going to be your defender, but I'm going to be working off your attacks.
You got it.
Go ahead.
It's going to be easier for me. Right? So what I'm doing is I'm going to feel the motion.
See where I'm feeling the movement. I'm not trying to beat you because it's easy enough to do, right? I'm just feeling the motion. You see how you let it, boom, where it can come up? And that's how it's developing technique. So I'm just working off of it, seeing where I'm going to come through, and whenever there's a release, it can come through. We're just got to bring us into the foreign fighting that we're doing, right?
It's not bad. It works, it works.
You see why I'm manipulating the strength?
You'll see how I'm giving you a lot of pressure here, and kind of rising with that.
See where all this technique can come through. Right? So you're starting to see that. There you got your hit. Now, see, I saw the hit. Okay, it was a good movement to get there. So now as you move with this, I move into it. You see where I'm coming from at this point here. So now there's actually getting into movement. Go ahead. You see? See how it works? All right, so you see the stretch, so you see the gaps in it. Go ahead, guys. Just start to play with it. It's really trying to bring in manipulating, especially when you come into grappling. You guys, when you get to the ground, you got to grapple with your opponent.
I think we need to get this. I have this contact before. Actually, that I just
4-4 or 1-1?
It's okay to 1-2.
This is why you can't believe in yourself.
And I also have hit here, here. This hit. So that's just good, you're good. This is just kind of how it's just.
And this is, you know, this is all with the Tai Chi, feeling the person's strength.
So think about the Tai Chi, right? Let's just.
As you guys are moving, I'll just keep talking, because that's what I do. If you're in Mortal Kombat, you're doing it, you have to be able to move off of them, especially if you get grabbed and you get taken down with a headlock, bear hugs, all those things. If a person's bigger than you, they're going to take advantage of that, of whatever they have as their power of strength. Like a 6'6", 280-pound guy, he's got to use that. And you know, unless you can suddenly turn into a green fighting machine, you're just wherever you are.
So I like Here's where we're going.
So during this game, guys, one person switches back to the other person attacking and the other person defending. All right, so you know, be fair that the other person coming with the attacks and defending, but really, the defender is really the one that's attacking. Okay.
Yeah, which is
working off your opponent.
Everyone does it.
And you can see when this goes to the ground, it's combined with the floor fighting, it takes a whole new lead to actually use new techniques. In this case, they're sparring. Sparring's cool, but there's always somebody quicker, better, luckier.
So it's
Every now and then, make sure you switch. One person's the aggressor, one person's the attacker.
You just throw the same 2 punches or 3 punches. That was a tiger pop.
She's not doing too bad.
No, she's not.
No, she's not doing bad at all.
Just punch me in my ass. Just punch me. It's okay. Just say it.
Remember, switch it off. Switch to the attacker, offense to defense. Because that changes your mindset. Really, in this whole exercise, you know, once you switch your mind, you feel you're attacking, you're trying to end the game. So your egos come in and you start doing all these dances. It's not dancing, it's very direct. Right? Okay, so the attacker wants to hit something. The defender wants to work off of that and then hit them. So really that's where the game is. And really that's real life too. That's what happens in real life. You always want to work off of the other person's attack, unless of course you're attacking first. And then it's just, you know, the guy just asking for the time and you knock him out. You guys are dancing. Like, what's going on here? You're doing fine. What's going on here? Right? You want to keep it so you want to control the movement. All right, then get over here. Right? So here, if Venom's on the attack, it changes the perception.
Here's
attack. See where he's moving so much here? I already got him. In real life, boom, it's going to be hit right to the throat. I'm moving in here. So all this excess
even though you
have
drop,
to feel all the person's energy. So even when you had the excess movement, you just amalgamate to it. You just like, you guys look like a warning, Will Robinson. Warning! You guys ever seen the old? I love that robot. You know? So you want to try to keep it consolidated when you're feeling when you just move this way, you go so fast and you're not feeling the other person's movement. So the first part of the exercise is not trying to beat them. You always hang it to the center. Just feel the other person's movement. So you want to slow it
Here
down.
as you drop.
Right. So if he's standing here and we're doing this here, and say he's got to throw a technique to the center, I'm feeling him. See how fast that was you went? But yet I'm still able to move against him. You don't want it to be that fast. He wants to move. You want to feel, so I'm feeling all this. Through this, you can see boom, where I would hit and work through it in real life. That's what's going on in your mind. When you guys are just doing this, you're not really working as a team. You're too busy trying to defeat and not feel. So when you attack me, boom, you went really quick. All right, so I still had it, right? But then my hand was still glued to you. You want to stay glued. You see, because you're working with the lower body strength. You move your legs into it, then it's a different ball. Right? Right, guys, so slow it down. So, you know, like Tim and these guys are usually all over the road, but they're starting to get it. Right? Just keep in constant contact with your opponent. All right, a few more moments on this, and then we're going to go into kind of arranging you guys into the actual practice technique.
Right, so come through with the tights. I want to show you something. See how this is kind of how you're blocking. So see how that's very abrupt. You kind of broke the rhythm. So don't be in such a rush to get the ball. So you come through this.
Let's switch this around a little bit.
See how.
Alex, get over here because I want you to move. Okay. Let's have you work with him and you work with him. All right. All right. So give us some guidance, and we're doing better, but you're doing really well. You are doing well. Right? Because there's no win or losing here. Just really learn your opponent, which you're gonna have to do in real life because in combat, the combat part of it, bringing the Tai Chi more to life, most women end up on the ground or against the wall. And this is where this technique is getting, as far as that. But just the overall body conditioning you're getting from it is really fun. You feel your arms getting tired, your whole body getting a good workout. I mean, you're doing well. Right? Okay, so I would say that where she's at now, you're the aggressor. You're moving in slowly like what you're doing over here, which I'm very pleased to see. Right? And that way she can feel the emotion. So you get the idea of he's the aggressor. And now I'm standing here as he comes in and he's doing this movement. I'm staying. You see I'm staying with this? Right? So you can use, I'm using the strength against him. That's kind of where you want to get. Okay? You just want to always manipulate so you're feeling all the different steel elements that are coming in and he's pushing you with and you're diverting in a different direction. And maybe even diverting eventually to the attacks. Okay? Right? So you're doing well. And you have the yin power. That's by nature. You use it. Okay. Yeah, it's in there. Right?
I was completely dropped, and that's what that's really high. So you feel where pressure is.
So you guys constantly switch off, okay? You know, one person is the aggressor. That just switches the mindset. Really, it's the same thing.
There you go. All I did was this. And you can hear it.
Much better. Tim, I'm pleased with what you're doing. You're staying with it, right? That's much better.
No, seriously.
Slow it down.
So
Don't bring any
I
anxiety.
tend to
Express
go forward fast.
Yeah.
That's good.
As I'm going back, I go forward. Try to develop as I come in. So don't just go in, it's just come slow, watch it, watch it.
Yeah, yeah, we talked about it.
Bad. Okay.
Guys are doing good. Going somewhere.
It's the same thing that's how it was. Not really grabbing, it's just kind of folding. And I can see there's like 3 different shots that are open. And again, this isn't how it play out. But we're really seeing those
Doing good.
So you know how old it is. You're taking some. Expecting you to know that it's happening, have something ready. Just don't. No, that's because you.
Nah, you're doing well. Seriously. You be the attacker. Okay. So just try to hit me or shot, whatever you want. Try to maintain contact. I'll try to stop. So my hands are here.
Yeah.
Try to just expand, contract, just take a deep breath. Don't worry. Don't even think. Just
Just that we're coming through the attacks. So see how you're doing. A lot of your reactions to this. It's really like.
That's good. You're supposed to remember. You're supposed to learn it all and then forget it all. That's the
I was able to
process.
just set that up. Right? And it's also my body. This is where I was coming from. Right? Again, maybe you look really good. This is where the line. It's like, here we go. Just, right? Now you just, maybe you go in, and I'm going to be like, right, that's what I want.
Okay.
Square it here. So now that's.
Just
going to be
try to
right
maintain
over stuff fixed.
kind of isometric tension through it all. Okay.
So start to use your stance. Right? You're very, you like to stay up high for some reason. Why do you like to use a lot of your power up here? Really minimize your strap. See how I was able to reach out to it? Because you threw a lot of power.
I
So I feel like now,
I know, especially
Keeping it.
I can't.
so it's not like
Keeping it in one, like just keeping it moving in one.
don't worry so much about that, right?
Like I don't know why that's weird there too.
No, I can't do that. It feels so
But
silly.
like once we get that side there,
Good idea.
Because you're, again, working a lot from here, just over your hands. Not doing anything else. Like, if you're going to set up an attack, use your trigger. I'm going to show you something. When you get
Yeah,
this,
maybe
all the
you
time,
do.
I'm going to use this way. You do it. Just that.
Yeah.
So see how I did that? Just use your as a set the attack.
yeah.
Right? You can be this way, you can be that way, whatever.
But you're leaving the
Exactly. That's one you can see with the block. It comes actually from 30 moves. Right? So when you're holding the track, just that. Right? So, right? That's open jack. You can see it also gives you a lot of other. Right? All that other stuff that was cool, right?
that's good.
Yeah. And just using the elbow to just slide it. Use your bridging line.
And this was supposed to be forming an exit contact.
Working off of the energy. So if I feel you can attack, right? You just take your energy and you're back. So see how that also we go for a shot. Right? And that's how we with the speed rate. You the shot now and follow with that. Right? See how my shots it's pretty right?
Yeah.
Right. And then what I would do from here is I just come straight up. That's what I just come right through. Because even if you block this, right, you're trying to bear and push, that's what it's doing. You can see I have that line right there. So that's what you're going to start to feel as you go through this. So let soften it. And you just I feel where you just stop right here. And as soon as I leave right there, so then you start to stop. So as soon as I get you about there, that's where you'll let it. So look.
That actually happens because I feel like it's harder to defend.
There's only a few things that do this. Straight punch, shell and uppercut, and then jumps.
That's really, I need the library. That's all.
So see, I use that little push. Right. And these aren't like, it's not like you're doing anything incredible, right? It's just not really what you're doing. There you go. See? Good. Once you move a lot of power, where that power gets you? And then we just stop out this point. Because I felt the contact. But don't be afraid to fall through. Just because I feel this punch get stopped here, I'm still going to come through. You just see the path. Right? You can see what. So we're doing more of the throwing punch that will help me out nicely. So don't be afraid to fall through. Just make sure you're moving smart. Perfect. Okay. to see how I was able to use that.
That was what you said before.
Yeah, and actually worked off that. I love it.
Okay, guys. Can chill out. Now we're gonna work on the stuff that right there. Really feels gonna improve everything. You don't kind of stay with the opponents you have right now. All right. So this is the good stuff. This will be in combination when we get into the form fighting. It's gonna lead into the form fighting. But I believe that throughout the years, so many years ago when I started doing this type of training, is where my skill sets really came to the forefront. Right? When I really started being able to execute technique for Mortal Kombat. Now you guys hear me say forever throughout fighting or whatever it is, slow is fast and fast is slow. All right? Here, this is a great way to improve your technique, to get yourself to actually execute, and it's non-violent. It does get aggressive on a different level when it turns into the form fighting. Only aggressive meaning that there has to be catering. So the first things you want to be, ladies and gentlemen, cater to your opponent. Okay? Sparring. What is sparring? I'm not even going to ask you guys to give me a question and answer to that. I'm going to just tell you. Sparring is supposed to be becoming your opponent. Sparring is about understanding your opponent's movement and mimicking that movement so you discover timing, range, and all those things. It's not supposed to be competition. The competition is in actually becoming what's in front of you, shadowing their movement, understanding it. But sparring, because of our brainstem and our limbic system, automatically goes into, you know, fear, flight, defense, ego, all those things start to come into play, right? So sparring kind of loses its value, and that's basically what you have in mixed martial arts or anybody that's in the ring, boxing or doing any of that. It becomes competition trying to overpower your opponent, right? It's not about, so sparring is the same thing there as you're doing when you're practicing. It's the same thing, right? The better, the quicker, the stronger, maybe the more tricks you have out there, or stance work, or whatever it may be. Some people long arms have more boxing skills, more kicking skills, more grappling skills. They're always competing in that and always trying to get back to their skill set. And so sparring really is about becoming your opponent, not defeating your opponent. You should never try to defeat your opponent. You know, you're there trying to learn off of their movement, trying to understand how they're coming. But it's changed forever. And with the movies and everything that's out there, sparring really has lost its meaning. So the meaning behind sparring is eye-hand control, working, you know, this endurance, all of that stuff comes into play. But that is not combat. And it's also not improving your skill sets. So when I watch you guys move and do what you're doing, I see you're kicking, I see this, I see it's not doing what it should be doing. This is going to allow you, at any level you're at, to really fundamentally work with your technique and see how you're throwing. This is where the whole idea of allowing it to come through. So some of the rules here. One of the rules is if something's coming at you, you don't always have to stop it. You can let it come through and see how you would move off of it. When you get into grappling and takedowns, one of the most important parts about grappling and taking down, just in the fundamental mechanics of the movement, is knowing which direction you should move when you get hit with something. All right, so if you're struggling with a certain move and the guy's gonna take you down and he's already got it, it's already got you going, it's good to know where you're going. So you need to understand the direction that that person is throwing you in or taking you down in so you can work against it or off of it. When you struggle with it, that's where the breaks and stuff come in, and that's when we talk about the gravity takedowns, right? Which is all gets into true Mortal Kombat, right? Okay, so here, this is very graceful and allows you to work and bring all that technique that you guys aren't aware of out, you know, and can get better aware of. You get to really, it's like taking all the exercising you do, all the form work you do, all the practicing you're doing, everything, and you're just bringing it out because it allows you to express it. So, when you're throwing a kick, you have to allow the person to move that kick, and the kicks are moving fairly slow. And what you're concentrating on is how you're actually setting yourself up to throw it and how you're actually moving. And the person in front of you is going to defend and block against that kick, or is going to let that kick come through. In the first part of the game, it's one person the aggressor, one person the attacker. When the game starts moving, you should be able to interchange automatically. And that's where you have to be, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, you've got to get to practice your movement, all right, and how that's actually going to work, okay? So when you're throwing something, it's done very slow, so you're becoming aware of that movement and the attack of that movement. When they're blocking against that, you're fundamentally moving with the block because you're able to see it, creating the blocking technique as you go. When you're throwing a kick, the person that's seeing the blocks of the kick is not rushing to it. You're taking your time coming through with it. So if, where did Alex go? All right, Chris, you know, I guess he'll figure it out. Okay, so.
You got the recording?
Yeah, but I'm here, all right? Well, why would you go to the John when I'm explaining to you? I guess if your back teeth are floating or you got, you know, what's ever going on your
Well, I want to work out and, you know, do the thing.
Yeah, I got it, all right. So, okay, this is really cool stuff. It's really going to take whatever you're at, whatever you're doing, whatever going on, and really allow you to really allow you to practice your technique. So basically, it's living form. It allows you to discover how you're moving and what's going on. So you're breaking it down. So out here, we're going to take the Hulk because we know the Hulk moves like the Hulk, right? You got to line up. So what's going to happen eventually, the two combinations of what you were doing here to just now, as well with this technique, will intermix and blend. And it's really a lot of fun. It really is fun, non-aggressive, allows you to really practice, but you've got to stay with it, right? So you first start out this way, hands on. All right? Now, usually when it's going through, if I'm the attacker, I run through a series of attacks. As I run through my series of attacks, and he's got to go, he usually nods and lets me know that he's going. All right? All right? When you're more advanced, it just goes through. Right? So there'll be a certain point where he's got to go, and you can generate that switch, and then I'm allowing him to come at me. You have to have that. That's where the gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen have to come in, right? Okay, so we're here. We start off this way here. Your hands are on. So if I'm going to be the attacker, and he's got to be the defender, my movement here is very specific. I'm concentrating on my movement. I'm bringing all those variables that we talked in with the 4-4, but you're moving slow. You have to be aware of your center, your core, all through the motion of movement. So now I'm going to do my first attack, and we'll take something that Tim was doing right at the beginning, right? So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to move here, and I'm going to come out with my attack. Now, if this attack was coming out boom, fast, he's already gone. All right? So here, you start out here. Now the hands may set free. So here I break off my hand, I come up here, boom. And you see where he's confused on how to block it, right? And how to move with it. So this is what he's learning. Now from here, I'm going to throw a kick. The kick here has to be allowed to come through. What you're doing here, you're moving at the speed I just showed you. When you're throwing that kick, I can see, if you notice, right, that I'm up on my toe here. Right? Okay, I'm up on my toe here. I want to throw a front kick. He has to allow me to throw that kick. He has to be a gentleman and allow the kick to come through. Now, he can allow the kick to hit him. He can stop the kick. It's up to him. But what you're trying to do as the person that's forming the technique is seeing how you are actually throwing the technique. All right? I already know I'm going to crush him. Right? But it's not going to crush him because he's got to see what's happening. He has to allow me to do it. So now, when you guys throw your kicks, they're like all over the road. Now here, I'm going to come down, right? I'm going to come here. I'm going to move up, and I'm going to come up here, and I see him taking all this extra movement. Then I'm going to bring my leg up, and that's how I'm going to throw it. So now if he's got to block it, right? Now say he's got to do a front kick on me. So this is what's hard. We're just taking a front kick, but we'll also, you have all those other kicks that you have to do that you've got to allow to happen. Because you're trying to see your setup before you throw the technique, just as with your punching. And then it combines. So it moves steadily. There's no gap in the movement. You just keep going. When you're doing this, you just keep going. That's why the person that's defending against you has to allow you to express the movement. All right, so say he's got to throw, he's standing here with his technique, you've got to be the attacker, right? He's standing with his technique, he's got to throw a punch. And you see how fast he threw that. So here, give you an idea, punch is good, but no design. There's nothing here, there's no feeling what he was coming through, there's no muscle work. He just threw the punch. And in real life, I'm just gonna take him out, right? So he's got to feel the motion. So let me stand out of the way for a minute. So when I tell you guys to come out here and demonstrate, you know, by yourself, when you're throwing, I'm throwing this way. I'm taking all this into account. When I throw my kicks, I'm taking all this. And as he's defending against it, he has to not run from it. You see how he ran from that kick? Where are you running? It's not coming at you 100 miles an hour. You want to deal with it. You want to allow the kicker to practice. I'm seeing how I'm moving here, and then I'm moving. I'm seeing how I'm moving. So the kick is got to come out. Maybe that's or even I'm going to take it out. Let's say if I take a toe kick, a little slower, but it's got to hit its mark. The man or woman cannot retreat from the kicks. You can't run from them. You got to stay in there to allow you to express the movement of the kick, right? So this is very hard to do. So the movement when I'm throwing is this way. Now here you lose it already. You're just going into your reptile brain. You're going into your limbic system and fear and flight and scared, and all you want to do is beat the person in front of you, and that's how you lose. You know, that's how you just compete. You know, in Mortal Kombat, you're trying to get your whole body to move, but there is no competition in Mortal Kombat. He wants to murder you, right? They want to murder you. All right, so it's here again. So now he's got to throw his punch full, like you're moving through the ether, right? He throws his punch. Now he feels. No, he did it again. The man can't do it. He's got to go into the reptile. He's got to go into the monkey brain. He's not working with his excellence. Already he's sitting in front of you scared to death. This guy's going to kill me. So he's already defending himself. You equal everything out. Can you stop that?
Try.
You better try, because this is the whole point of the exercise. The first part is to use your gray matter. You all could fight. Anybody, you know, if you guys are all gonna have a death match, you know, you can fight. You're gonna fight. You don't want to fight. You want to bring it into an art of understanding your movement. Let's do this again, right? So you can see how hard this is, right? All right. So say I'm going to come with the attack. All right. On the attack he just did. Here's his attack, right? Well, it's not that good, but you know, it's coming, whatever it's coming, right? So now I'm going to do the same punch he did, and he sees it, and then he's got to stop it. You got to block it, right? Here. Right? And you can see, like, I can already see where he's in trouble. Now, at this point here, I may want to break his leg. You have to let me break your leg. And you have to move over. That's how you start. Yes, you got to let it happen, because that's how you got to come to the ground. Because it may lead to the ground from here. Because the defense on this, he has to turn his leg. If he doesn't turn his leg, I'm going to take that bone and shoot it outside behind him. You know, it's just got to come out the other side of his leg. It's got to wreck it for the rest of his life. But let's just say that, right? If I'm going to go here and say I come up, first I'm practicing this. So he's already developing that movement. He's allowed me to bring this up, come here, and then I come here. What's his defense against that? So he has to let it come through. Get back there, right? So I come here and I go here. Now what's his defense against it? Does he move his leg? Does he come around? Does he feel where I'm coming through? How does he defend against that kick? Off of the kick. So the kick, lay it on him. And all he has to do, if he's going to take a similar, let me use Vic because he's more.
Because he really wants to break mine.
He's better. No, you're going to break mine. right? So say he throws his punch, nice and slow, and I'm here. You see how he's throwing that? Boom! So I'm developing technique, which is not really something you're going to use. It's not going to happen this way, but you're developing form work, movement. So now he's going to take that leg. He's going to come up and he's going to go to break. Oh, you were like this here, which is a no-no, right? Like I said, now he's going to take this and he's going to move here, and I'm going to let him do it so he feels his angle as he's hitting it. As he pushes against it, do I push and guide back, right? Do I move here, right? What am I doing? At this point, he already had that movement, and he's snapping it back. If I move back and I plant it, it's going to show me how I would actually execute a block with that hit, because I'm feeling that coming through. Or if he's coming, that's because it's going slow. It's going slow, right? So he takes the same, he comes with his punch again, right? Boom, and then boom, it hits me, all right? And now he's going to come in with that kick. See how I let it come, and he comes in and hits, and I feel that kick. Then here, at this point here, let's just say I don't really know what I'm doing yet. And he comes here, and I go this way, and I feel how that's moving. This is not the right technique, but at least you're doing something, right? The idea is moving off of it. He's actually learning. Does he have all of his lineup to throw that kick properly? Whether it's a front kick or a back kick. So let's just say I'm attacking him, right? And I come in with my attack and I go 1, right? I'm doing this to line up. Now I'm going to do this, this, this. Now you see he's already running. He has to allow me to throw when I'm throwing. So you have to stay lined up to your opponent. You can't evade. The evasion is in the movement itself. So how can I practice the kick when he's going over here already? He's already getting out of the way. You ain't really getting out of the way. I know, whatever, but I'm just trying to use that as an example.
Yeah.
Right, so he was going out of my line of attack, which is not bad when you get more advanced in it. Right now you want to be gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to aid it. So all you're doing is trying to also bring that element of viewing it. And this is what's hard. Right, so now let's do it again, right? So he just threw his punch, all right? So now as I make this move, he sees that move. He's just kind of like he's being patient, waiting up. Then I'm going here, and I'm seeing this here. Then I'm coming here. Then I'm picking my leg up, and now I'm throwing. Boom. He allows me to complete that. Did I throw more of my butt in that kick? Did I throw this? Was it supposed to be a different kick? Where was my viewing on that? So you're always trying to stay lined up to your opponent. It's very hard to do because you're automatically going to go into your Hulk movement. You're automatically going to go back into your insecurities in your movement. But here there's no threat. So you're actually creating form work. You're feeling your whole motion through it. So so now Vic and I are out here. I'm going to be on the attack mode. So we're on attack mode. You kind of always start with your hands together. Why? Because it's going to lead into the other stuff, but it's also keeping you right in range with your opponent, right? You don't want to start out like when you guys start out way out here. You want to be right in the fight. You got to be in the fight to win the fight, right? So now my attack is going to be simple, but it stays steady, all right? So I'm going to go here, feeling this, here. Then I'm going to move here, stay here, motion. Was that good? I don't know. I don't think so. I didn't feel really confident about it, but the setup, maybe. Right? So you see how I'm moving, he's moving off of it, and I'm practicing my overall movement and technique, and then after you get done with your series of movements, and then he decides, say, he's attacking. All right? So we don't have to, you can both do aggressors at the same time. Well, at the same time it happens. So he's attacking. I'm feeling the attacks that are working with this motion and blocking. Now at this point here, I decide that I want to attack. He should just read that, which is good. That was good. Right? So you should just see, oh, the person switched, now they're attacking. I think that's how I would like to play. And it gets more into the realm. Now you're all going to be very bad at this. So the key thing is stay patient. Try to move like you're in a body of water. And really concentrate on what muscles you're generating, your center, when you're throwing it. Because there's no defense here. It's all about the person that's attacking. The defender is aiding you with the movement. So if he's attacking me, right? And he does this attack, right? And as he does this attack, you see, all right, I don't know really what he's doing here. It's because with the kick, we're just moving very simple. And now he's still coming through with his attacks. And I'm just kind of seeing, so you see I'm presenting these really cool looking blocks that may or may not work in real life. I wouldn't do this because it's too much time, right? But I'm developing form work. Move out of the way. Go back, get out of here. You see where I'm at? Right? I'm developing technique, right? All right, come back in with that wherever you are. So I'm developing, so I'm also working on, you know, over-exaggerating my movement, like a lot of actors. you know those actors that over-exaggerate, overact, yeah, all right, so now he comes through with this other technique, right? And I see this, and then I just let it come in, because I'm also seeing that at this point, he wants to grab this gorilla hands, he wants to grab, so I switch it out, and now I come with my attack. You see how it starts to move? It's so cool, but you can't lose it. As soon as you get into your monkey brain and you defend it, you're not really executing your technique. So if you throw a series of just 4 kicks at your opponent, whether it's on the ground, throwing from because it goes to the ground a lot. Once you get this, because the takedowns and stuff start coming naturally. Right? But right now we just stay above ground. Right? You really work, it gives you the opportunity to really work on your kick. So if Hope is out here, and this is fun, see, it's non-violent, you can really do it if you come, you're not getting out here doing this, you know, because it doesn't go anywhere. The bigger guy, the faster guy, is always going to beat you. It's like playing a good chess player, you know? He's always 5 moves ahead of you, right? All right, so here, I forgot what I was going to say. All right, so if he's coming with, if I'm going to practice a motion, a kick, he has to allow me to do that. So now, to kick at this range, I'm going to go here, here, come up, boom, and you got to block. Okay, make sure you're coming with your blocks.
Is it a delayed block or is it a...
No, you're moving with it. You got to, but you got to anticipate it, but you got to let it to move. Now, say there's 2 things here, right? So I come this way here, and I throw my kick. I know that kick just by the way he's moving. He's already gone. But now let's say he is got to let the kick meet its target. Right? So here I take that. So now you block a little bit, and then the kick hits. Boom. Now you see how you react, and I see how I fall. Does this fall correct? It is if I want to go for a takedown. Is this fall correct for yellow zone? Well, for me, yeah, because I like red zone fighting. All right. So you can see how you follow through. Sometimes you got to let the kicks follow through. If you're throwing a series of kicks, you want to say you want to throw 2 front kicks, a back side kick, you know, whatever it is, how many you want to throw, you have to allow him to do that. You can't, if he's going to, come out here again, right? Say, sometimes yes, sometimes no, you can't do it all the time. So say I'm standing here, and Vic's got to throw a turn side kick, you know, like you turn around, you know, yeah, you're coming back here, and I'm doing here, and say I just step in, okay, that's not cool. But yes, it is cool when you get more advanced, because that's where you got to go for your takedowns. That's where the grappling's going to come in. But now he has to experience the kick. He has to experience his movement, and if it's crap, you'll know it. You'll know that you weren't positioned right, that you were off balance with it. You'll know whether your punching's not lining up. You were actually correcting yourself to see where you are. Now you have a lot of technique in you that you never bring out to the surface. Nobody does. All of you do, but you're not bringing it out. That's why this is so hard. So I'm going to be the ref. If I see you moving fast, I'm going to yell at you. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying. Just when I say, what are you doing? You're okay. You're not allowing the person to express the movement. So let's do a little experiment. Let's take you and you out here first. All right? So this is the kind of stuff, along at the end of the class, that we're going to do. Remember the speed. Okay, one of the wonderful things about this, besides increasing your technique abilities, getting you to use your gray matter, is that by doing what you're doing, you actually get faster. You punch faster, you punch harder. So you're improving skill sets that you're not even subconsciously in your body aware of that you're doing that. Okay? It's just amazing to get faster. And that's why, all this stuff came in. And I loved practicing this stuff because, I was in very violent schools and it was so good. Oh, let's do this. Oh, thank God. This is nice. But it's where I believe all the technique came from. All right, so let's have Venom do the first attack. All right? And now you can interplay that. So we won't say there's a beginner, but if it switches somewhere along the line, you have to be able to read that he's attacking him. And sometimes it happens at the same time. There's 3 types of strategies attack. Do you know what they are?
Attacking before the person attacks, attacking after the attack, attacking while they attack.
That's my favorite one. Attacking at the same time. Okay? And that's really what you got to be doing. Okay, guys. Let's see how you execute this. Right? Because remember, this is just to get you out of the gate. Go ahead. Now you see your target, you go for it, and you move, and you're trying to see how your body is lining up for your attacks. This is an excellent form, it's the best form of training possible. Get out there and just sparring and stuff. You guys, everybody's tough. You're taking luck out of the game. So here, if it ever switches, right, now you can see, right, you have a little trouble kind of gathering. There you go, there's the kick. You either let it come through, push yourself into the kick, block the kick. It's whatever you want to do. So, Venom, take a series of 4 kicks on your attack here. Go ahead, just from here you're going to kick now. You're going to see how you feel about that kick. Your balance may come a little bit off, it's no big deal. Right? And now your opponent is allowing, he's blocking the kicks, but he's allowing it to come through, and so you can actually see how you're executing your muscle work for the kick. All right, now, Vic, you do the same thing, throw a series of 4 kicks. Because kicking is the hard part, right? Just how you're getting that up, moving good. You got that knee up nice and high. You see how you're working it? You're working it, right? Get a little back kick going in there, man. Get that turnabout. Come on, how you turning? How you lifting that leg up before you throw the kick? That was not good. All right, that's the part you got to work on. What you should have been doing is lifting that leg up on that last kick here and then throwing. But you came from the lower part, which would have been easy to stop and go back. All right, so now you guys are getting that idea, right? So now Venom, like you throw it, so we're using you guys as guinea pigs so everybody can see. So Venom, now you got to throw a punch, a kick, a punch, a kick. Go ahead. You got to work off of each other. Boom, boom. See, that's nice. You're keeping that speed. There's some funky kick here. You really got some really. This is where I'm going to come in and show you guys what you should be doing. All right, very boring. Very boring. All right, now Vic, you do the same thing. No, start. All right, start with your kick first. Kick, that punch. See, you're feeling how you're actually executing the technique. Here, and then here. Now you're truly learning combat. Okay, you guys got the idea? Everybody got what I want? I put that camera somewhere where you can see. Oh, yeah, sure, I got to move. Okay. You got the idea? There's no right or wrong here. Well, there is when I'm yelling at you. You know, like, okay, what are you doing? All right? I still got to move? Freaking Alice. All right, so let's switch it up, and then I'm going to have you constantly switch. So right now, because you have the least really well with this, right? Let's have you work with Vic at first. You're all going to switch. You got to work out with other people, and you guys all find somebody. If you guys start going hyper on me, you go into your brain stem, you go into your limbic system, and you know all those emotions. I want to run. I want to kill. I want to fight. You're not working with your technique. This is the idea. You want to be ladies and gentlemen and cater to the person who moves in front of you. And that's where it's going to lead into the grappling when we get into that and you're actually taking it down.
Do we let it come through in chem block, or is it?
It's up to you. You could see it. You could see it because it's coming slow enough that you can easily block it. But so like if you're standing here and you've got to throw. We're standing here and you'll throw your punch. I could see that my block is good over here. But you see, I'm formulating my block. right? But I can do that because we're just playing with technique. It's going slow enough that you can actually do that. Okay, so now you go back again to the same punch, right? Comes with the same punch as he's coming here. If I move here, I can formulate it off here. This is where you get to the takedowns.
So you can formulate it as if you got hit and then
Yes, you should allow some of these techniques to come through so you can see how you're moving. So it's like, let me show you something, all right? So if you go here, remember we did that leg break on you? So you got to take the kick on me. You got to take that kick and you got to come, just take that back leg and just ram it into my knee. Boom. You see how I move this? So now if you're going to throw that kick, boom, you see how I'm moving it? Bam! You see how I'm coming in? It's not a threat to me.
Yeah.
Because I already know how to move it. But if you want to get into the takedowns, right, and you throw that kick, I'm going to move this way, then I start going to the ground, you have to follow.
Is that for everything?
That's where you start to learn. You start actually wrestling on the ground, and you start to see. So that's the next part. I avoid that because of my knee. I just don't want to go down because it's feeling better when I came on the same track. But you guys, I can teach this without me actually doing it. And you're on the ground, you're wrestling. Then I'm there, right on you. I'm right on you. Because the techniques, you could be laying on the ground flat. Let me give you an example of that, right? Get on the ground. Leg flat on your face.
Fly on my face.
Flat on your face, down. Get on top of him. Get right behind him. No, on top of him, right on top of him.
Sitting up?
Yeah, stick your knee into him. Stick your knee in. Go like that's it, here. How's he gonna get out of that? How do you get out of that? You don't know, do you? Oh, it sounds good. Let's see you do it. Nothing's happening. All right, so my point is that that's where you have to be a gentleman and let him move that way. That's how he's going to learn about the movement. It's actually pretty easy to get out of it. All right? But the technique, because you were locked in there, you're here. So the chances of something like that happening can happen. You just got the green guy on you. He's down here. He's moving with you. Now he's just going to start punching your head off, and you see that all the time in competition fighting. Right? But you don't have time to move like that. Here it gives you the time to analyze, to investigate, to see how you would move, whether we work or not work, and that's where you have to be a caterer. So as he starts to move, you kind of have to let him go through it so he can feel his movement. And that's how you start learning gravity techniques. Just give you an example of what's coming up. All right, guys, go ahead. That's not getting into grappling. You know, grappling on the street, you know, it's got to work. You got a 350-pound guy in front of you that's coming at you with a machete, and you decide how I'm going to take this guy down. He's got to go down.
Keep going.
Now you got all that kicking, and do you have some form work? Do you work with some old forms, right? Like the 30 move, stuff like that? Yeah, we're going to be going through that. Vic's going to start teaching that again on videos and stuff, so you'll get to break that down. But you got all the kicking from the Tai Chi, I know, and those legs, I know they move, because I'm always busting your chops, like a nice kick. Just make sure you're following full motion. Guys, full motion. You can see it's non-aggressive, right? Let some things come through. Don't try to beat your opponent. Try to shadow them. Move with them. See where you're punching from. Are you pushing your punches? Are they not coming from your triggers? So I could see that, Venom and Tim are pushing. They're pushing their punches. They're not really coming from their center. And that's what you're trying to discover. And don't forget, guys, it's kicks, it's intermix. You throw kicks, you throw punches, you throw chops. You throw anything you want to throw. You use the stuff that you use in the 5-element form. You bring everything into the game here. Your opponent, right? So you could see, look, what was that? What the hell was that?
Getting creative.
It wasn't creative. It was like step, 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 step. Creative is solid movement. So you didn't position yourself. You had to reposition yourself to throw your attack. So in other words, like what you did was, I gave you this did this to come with that creative attack. You were on this side, right? And then you went. All this stuff, not that extreme. All this stuff's coming. If I want to do that attack, and I'm here, my attack would say here. If I move here, I want to get creative. You see I'm moving in, and then he's defending against it. Now I want to get real creative. He's throwing this. Boom! You ran my head right. I use my head a lot. But I'm gonna remember right here, I'm gonna take the whole head,
right?
boom,
I don't
right up
get
to
your arm back to you, and you can't
And all I'm doing is sliding up, so I'm not hitting my head like this.
So how can you do that?
You know, it's just moving, it's all motion.
That's it.
It's nasty stuff. You fight with your whole body.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Right? Is that what you see when you made that? I'm not saying, I mean, we're gonna take a while to get this.
Yeah.
But it's hard to point that out.
Just
But
like
now when we start moving, we're really tough with the guy. What the hell are we doing? And then we start going to the ground. You saw that example.
where you were, it wasn't bad.
Right? You know what's great about this? Any level fighter can do this. You can have the best mixed martial arts guy in the world, and everybody turns to 5-year-olds. You know, they're all out here. They're doing this stuff. They're really trying to bring a technique. If the competition is really how you are executing your technique against the other person. This is where you want to bring it into the real game when you're fighting against a knife, a bat, a person that's extremely aggressive, much stronger than you, all that stuff out there. So you can see where you guys' movement is getting too fast. You want to keep it steady. You want to keep it slow. You really want to work on the technique that you're throwing. Otherwise, you're just throwing slop. You're just going into your brain stem.
Right. And that's where you
So
should
see what you can do to take that.
Yes, you tell yourself.
See how cool this is?
So you should
Well,
grab
right
my
now, don't worry about it.
grab
It's
my
not going to take you time. But you can see
Oh.
how it starts. You can see how it starts to work. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a lot of
But that's what's coming there. But you could already see how you're developing it. There you go. It's very cool. So when you're working with somebody better, what you guys doing? You guys are going to the races again. Slow it down. It's not about competing. It's about discovering your movement. Stop competing. Get out of your brainstem. Feel what you're doing. Yeah, there'll be a lot of. Right now, I'm just giving you some tips. But once you start getting, I'm gonna get really on you. That's it. So you're gonna see if you don't like what you just did, how you performed it, then you can get to perform it again somewhere in those movements.
I wasn't bad. So just pull up a little bit higher. So that way you can aim it wherever you want to aim. So that way you can blow, you can also aim it high, right? So I can aim here, for example, right?
And you can see how this all comes down to reality, right? When you really start executing this technique, right? You can see when you're moving it fast, you'll actually know how you're doing. You're lining up. You don't even realize how you're viewing your opponent. That was a nice kick down, right? You want to slow it down. You know, combinations. Don't forget, you guys got chops. You got your slide punches. You got your back fists. You got finger stabs. You got all these things that you can experiment and do. But stop going fast. All right. Let's stop for 1 second, right? Just for 1 second. You two are pissing me off, right? What's happening here is because when we're coming into the motion, everybody stop for a second. So you want to express a movement. Let me take that, right? So if I'm standing, I'm going to throw a chop at them, right? I'm standing here, I'm going to throw a chop, all right? So my chop motion is here. 1, 2, 3. That's as fast as it goes. Why you guys go into a fire? Now from here, I want to throw something else. I don't know what the hell I'm going to throw. He's got a good defense. Well, actually, because Venom likes taking these straight legs, I'd probably go to break his leg or take his groin and put his balls into his throat. Right? You ain't going to be able to stop that. But I can see that. That's okay. But that's what you do see if it's real life. Right? So here, let's say I'm going to take another chop. I'm going to take something I would not do. But I'm going to do it because I want to just freaking do it. And he's got to defend against it. So now I'm going to take another chop. I'm going to come here, step out here, boom. And you see he's moving 100 miles an hour to defend the chop, but it's going really, really slow. Right? Right? But you see how I express it? So yeah, I wouldn't do that chop in real life because I would have done what I just said, you know, there. But I'm going to express it. So when I tell you guys, and this is how I tell you practicing with your shadow demons and stuff at home, that's how you should be practicing. Just what you're doing here. But you don't do it because you're all going into your brain stem. The oldest part of your brain. You realize your brain is a computer, right? It's a great machine that you're not using. You go right back to your genetics. defending yourself, which is not too bad, so I can use that sometimes. Woo, ah, woo. I can use that and come at you, just kind of scary, which I did do. Fighting a fool isn't easy to fight because a fool has no fear, right? Woo, ah, woo, coming at you. Making all those funny noises. Then chewing on your ear like me, Mike Tyson, like. All right, so you got the whole idea then, okay? So if I'm practicing at home and I say I'm doing a chop, doing a chop, doing a stab, this is how it should be. Why aren't you guys doing that here? Why is that not happening? Because you're going into your brainstem, you're going into your limbic system, it's all emotional, it's dogma, and you need to get into your lobes. You need to start working with it. You like this, it takes images, it takes pictures, it's a seed, it's a giant sponge, and you're not using it. You're not using it. Why aren't you using it? Why you go right into like, oh, I'm afraid, or my ego, or something. You really want to develop. So when I'm doing this, I'm saying, this work? Am I coming from this work if I'm throwing this a hit? If he's standing here, and I'm throwing this, boom! Yeah, ooh! So here I just hit this way, boom, boom! And I'm coming around here. See how it comes to life? Just like you felt before when you had the takedown. Now, all the skill sets that you got locked in there that you don't use come out, because they come out slow. And she allows you to use it. You get to try it, you get to feel it, you know, because she's not fighting back against you. You're moving with it. And you get to see, hey man, if I fall this way, he's going to break me. I need to change my fall. See? You guys need to stop that. You see what I just did? That's what I want to see. You start moving fast, this is weird. I got to bring something in here. I'm going to foam back or something. And when Tim's going like this, boom, 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 boom.
We have one.
I know. So I'm bringing it. I'm bringing it. I have a foam back, you know, just sit there when you, what? My seafood used to, huh?
I got one in my trunk.
A foam back? Don't volunteer. But yeah, we can do that. My seafood used to hit me with a bamboo. That's why I said I have no hair. Gee! You hit me with that bamboo stick and that hurt. You get little cuts on your head and everything else. All right, guys, let's see you do it, all right? Let's see you do it. Stay with the program. Right? You're moving like through the ether, but you're feeling your muscle movement. How are you attacking? The defenders are kind of defending and working off of it. When it gets into combining all of it, then you're both equally fighting. Right now, you're just trying to cater and improve the excellence of your movement. How are you stepping? How do you feel? Like, what is that? What is that step? Like, that's garbage, right? And that's what you should know. You should know that the whole execution of that punch was not right. Right? Did it feel right? Well, if it did, then you don't know what the hell you're doing. And this is where you're going in, all right? Are you throwing a baseball or are you throwing a punch? All right, so did you notice that every stance you do is the same? It's all like the short bow stances. Every single stance you do with your punching, you're attacking the same way. There you go. Now you're breaking it up a little bit. Now you're starting to experiment. Did you ever notice, Tim, that when you throw your punches, you always come straight up? You need to see what you need to track yourself. You need to create, right? You need to create movement, right? Now, see on a block like you just did there, right? On that kick, you could have moved into that kick and let it really hit something to see how you would move off of it. And at that point, you could have switched and actually did your attack. Okay? Remember, things hit you in real life, right? You got to see how you would move off of it. Okay, let's switch it up a little bit. Vic, you come over here and work with this guy who's pissing me off.
Which one? You're really not being specific.
Actually, no. And Venom, you got her, right? And yeah, that's it. We got everybody with different people. Yeah. All right.
This guy is pissing me off.
Everybody's pissing me off, but if you're not pissing me off in a bad way, it's just that you guys are so robotic, boring. My God, there's no creativity. Especially my seafoods. What the hell are you guys doing? You got all this technique. You got all of this stuff. I can't yell at Vic yet because he was working on what you did very good with. Right? Okay? You got all these techniques that are there. And you got a lot of the form and there's the movement. Why don't you bring that out? Why are you attacking constantly like this? I'm going to punch. Here we go. I'm going to put this for the camera so everybody can see, right? Here we go. I punch. Here we go. I punch. Here we go. I punch. What is that? There's no creativity. There's nothing going on. You're doing the same thing. How easy is it to beat you on the street? Because the guy in the street, he don't know nothing. You can take a really strong person who has no fear, and that's what you're going to have to deal with. A guy, like you never fought those guys. And any mixed martial art guy, anybody out there will tell you, fight one of those guys on the street, like Tyson doing street fighting, is a whole different ball game. Right? It's a whole different ball game. Whole different thing. And you're going to compete with that, and you're going to do the same thing. You have to be creative. You have to work off of it. You have to be able to see. If I'm punching this way, and I'm punching, oh, I'm going to feel where that punch is coming from. Right? And if I'm going to take the same goofy stance, right, I'm going to change it up. I'm going to see where I'm coming. I'm going to see my legs are going. They're doing things. I'm not like I'm doing a cha-cha. I could put music to you. Da 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 da. All of you guys. It's not just you. Just happy to see you. These guys are boring. Boring. You could create so much and you're not doing it. So if I'm standing here facing him, let's bring some of the 5-element form into here, right? Now I'm facing him, and I come out with a punch. Boom. Now I come in. Boom. Right? Now I come in. Boom. Now I'm gonna. You can see it. But now you should let that kick come through so you can see what it feels like. I'm bringing things in. If I'm coming here, wham. Right? Stopping it. Boom. Right? To give you an idea. And then it does move fast. It gets to the point where you guys are moving fast, you can really, it looks like a creative movie. Maybe we could create movies. Right? Right? You just have to just moving, you're working as a team, you really feel it, but it's not garbage. Right? So you can see it. I'm not gonna yell at you guys because you need to see it. Like you just form this pattern and you stay stuck in it for your whole life. Just like you do with your belief systems. Right? You just stay there because you're afraid to move out of it. All right? Go. There's no right or wrong unless I'm yelling at you. You want to really experiment and see. Like you see like that elbow shot you had coming up, right? How you could play off of that. You see how you're creating your movement. You can't help but improve. You can't help but get better in real life execution of technique. So when I watch you guys do your 4-4, or when we get into free sparring, it should be really well designed, you know, and not designed in a way that your opponent can read what the hell you're doing. Now, did you like that kick? So you get to practice it again and work with it. Are you overreacting your movement? Are you not coming from your core? If you don't like what you're doing, if you think you're slack, well, it's probably because you are. And that's where you have to tighten it up. You can go back to more basic movement. Whatever you have to do to help yourself get there. Right? So concentrate on where your range is. That's the attackers. The defenders do not retreat. You stay there in the fight so they can practice their technique. If it switches the game and then you attack, you stay there in the fight. You try to always stay connected to your opponent through this technique. So basically, as I told you earlier, real fighting really happens always in the red zone. It goes very quickly to the red zone. But the better you are with your skill sets, you may be able to keep it in the yellow zone. Good. I see improvements already, guys, on you. Just really start to really work with it. Now you see where it comes to the takedowns, right, Vic? Right?
That was the takedown.
You know? And where you have to let that takedown come through so both people actually experience what's coming through instead of just throwing somebody to the ground.
Okay.
Awesome.
You're doing really good. He said, really doing well. Yeah, coming through with that. See, you can see how you're actually practicing techniques. So you're actually out there fighting, you know? It doesn't matter who you're standing in front of, you're working through that technique. So Benham, as you're moving, keep moving as I'm talking. You can see that your stances, all right, always come from a very straight, keep going, coming from a very straight stance. You're not really creating to your opponent. So the last 5 minutes, we're going to talk about two things that you guys need to bring it into real life as well. I didn't do that thing that I was just tired. So you get up, make that call. Maybe tomorrow when make sure you bring that all the way through. Okay, bring it all the way through so you can feel like if it's coming through, if you're reaching it, how it would feel. Don't stop it. Right, go right to the body. Your kicks, guys, and your punches have to come all the way through to your opponent. So you can feel what that's like. Right? And Tim, on that longer, you feel that kick, you should have moved with it, not just grab it and try to defend against it, right? You gotta move with it. It's all about letting things move through. All right, guys. So on this here, you get an idea. So in combat, the reason you guys do what you do is because you form patterns. Those patterns lock into your brain, and you're not really creating your movement. All right. So in real life fighting, when you're really fighting in combat, you have to mount it. There's no such thing as anything written in stone. You have to be able to change your movement based on what's in front of you. And that's why you guys constantly take the same stance, whether it's busting your chops or you're constantly like this here all the time, right? You're not looking at your opponent how you should be moving with them. So we take the Hulk, right? The Hulk's out here, he's standing like he's fighting, just in movement, right? And I'm standing here. This is how you guys fight. So now, when he comes out with his attack, you're just doing this again. You're just repeating this here. You have to look at your opponent, also your imaginary opponents, when you're training at home. The real test is when I take you out here, nobody's in front of you and I'm watching your movement. And if it's crap, it's going to be crap. And this is what you're going to take because you have something in front of you. So if he's standing here, now we all know that he can smash you. He's a big, strong Hulk, right? So I have to create my movement the same as in combat. You have to create it. You're always got to be some advantages, some disadvantages, whatever it is. And we use strength, all these variables that you can pull out of your toolbox. So if I'm standing here constantly, so now he comes with his attack, I'm moving, see? Why is nobody doing this? Right? So now if he comes with his attack, I'm not going this way here, and then, you know, and now when I'm attacking, I'm attacking this position here, and then I'm punching this position here. I'm looking at my opponent. I'm designing my attacks based on his movement, not where I'm comfortable. Right? That's your anxieties. You know, that's all the human noise, right? That you guys allow to invade you every day while you have problems with your freaking lives because you just can't balance it. You can't get the body to move through it. The art is really about that. You know, the combat part of it is just a model. Hopefully, you know, if you do get into Mortal Kombat, you can defend yourself pretty good against it. But really, it's about discovery. And if you're constantly forming patterns, you're staying with it. The art is about self-discovery. You know, through movement, through execution, through fighting, through combat. Like Musashi, you know, when he was back in the day, he tried to discover himself through cutting other people down. But that was where it was. So now we're standing here, and we're standing, I'm not just doing this here, so now if he comes with his attack, I'm moving to it, right? He's coming with his attack, I'm moving with it. I'm trying to, now if I'm attacking, right? Now I'm going to come with my attack, I'm moving here, here, right? Boom, here, boom, right? I'm doing different crazy things, trying different movements with my attack. I'm not constantly like, I got like cement in my legs and I'm standing when I dance, I'm like that. You know, everything's just how I am. You see me at weddings, right? Oh, like, get out there and dance. I got this kung fu. He can get out there and shake a leg. That's it. It's as far as I go. Right? All right? Well, that's what you guys are doing here. You gotta move. So if I'm here and I'm coming in with my attack, boom, I'm moving. And he's gonna defend against this. Boom, I'm moving. Wow! Right? You got the idea? You need to create. When you're doing it with nobody in front of you, you've got to stop these patterns. Take a camera, videotape yourself, and you say, man, I really suck. I'm just doing constant, I'm playing it safe. You can't help but go to that because your brains always go to that. Dark matter. You know, just goes right to that because you can't see it. Bring it into the light. Start to discover what your body's abilities are. What your brain can do that you're not letting it do. Now the other thing, just quickly, right? Just keep the Hulk out here. So Hulk's got to come in, right? And this is where you get into the red zone. Hulk's got to come in and he's got to grab me. Just comes in, grab me. Ooh, yeah, be like the Hulk would grab, grab me. All right? So there you go. And you're panicking, and now he's going to come in. He's going to come. So what happens? I'm just going to hold on. This is what people do in real life. Like, oh, kiss me. And you're fighting like this here because you automatically, when you're going to be taken down, no matter how good or proficient you are with your takedowns, you're going to panic and you're just going to grab the person. That's real life. That's what happens. You have all this great technique, all this different stuff, all these different throws and all this different, and then the guy, you can get him and he's got, he just reaches on because he's scared to death. And he's clawing, he's scratching or whatever it may be. You know, and your technique doesn't work. You know, at that point. You know, it works eventually, but you're really fighting. You're like two freaking Klingons out there. But that's what happens in real life. It goes from yellow zone to red zone. Right? So if I'm standing out here, and then he comes in and he grabs me, and I like go, just grab me, and you like to strangle. Right? So again, what's free? You're going to die very easily with the strangles because I know where your hands are. All right, which is what we get into. Just come in and just grab it. Out and grab it. And here I'm going to grab. I'm going to bite. I'm going to do everything I can to get out of that. You're going to feel that flush come right because I'll spit it right out.
It's a good thing you cleaned that uniform from class here, right? Keep bringing it on.
Yeah. No, I like this taste of sweat. So you got the whole idea of that? That's what happens in real life, guys. You can have all this great technique. So you watch the mixed martial art guys that are out there. What do you see? You see that?
Not a lot of biting.
But when no, not a lot of biting. But you see that. But actually, when I've been into him, I would have used that as leverage to tear and straighten out his arm. I would use my whole mouth. Your whole body fights. I wouldn't recommend doing that because blood can get, you know, people just carry all kinds of weird things in them. But you can use it as a means of torque. All right? So my whole point is you fight with everything you are. But my point I'm making at the end of this, when people are fighting you, and when they feel challenged and scared, they go right into that part of the brain and they're going to hold you. They're going to grab, they're fighting for, they're scared, they don't know what the hell's going on. They're going to fight you. And that's cool in a ring. It is not cool on the street. But that's exactly what's going to happen. Right? If you're fighting for your life. Unless you don't fight and you completely submit. He's kind of cute, and they just, okay, take me to the ground, let's go. You know? All right, yeah, all right, fine. All right. Okay, cool. I'm in prison, I don't care. Just do your thing, initiate me, let's move on. Right? He goes, oh my God, I was raped by this guy. It's all part of the game, man. You know, what it makes you, it's just all part of it. So yeah, you're kind of cute, man. But most people are, they're gonna fight you. They're gonna fight you. No matter how good your skill sets are. Right? So, just simple, like if you're taking him here, he's got his hand out, put your hand out here. He's got his hand out, I go this way here, it works, right? Now, he's got to fight me, put your hand out, and don't let me do that, right? You're fighting, it's not working. Now, even if he takes it, oh, he can't do that, come on here, right? You know, the two thumb grabs that you see and everything. He takes it, he's going to do it on me, right? He takes it, he does it on me. Ooh, ow, damn it! He broke my wrist! Freaking animal. In real life, you gotta take this, you gotta just, I'm standing here, do it. Do that move. And I'll be like, bam, bam, punch him in the face. That's real life. Bull crap when you see all these guys doing all this stuff, they're throwing each other around. Stand in front of a guy, like, take one of those guys that are in, who's that guy that does the form stuff? I like it. Who? Yeah. Take that guy and stand in front of him and try those techniques. He's gonna freaking bury you. Because he knows street fighting. He knows how to fight that way. Damn it. And that's what happens in real life. Here, you actually get to test it, work it out. So, in a move like this, if he did that, Vic did that, I may come through, but I got to follow with another design because it allows you to experiment. You guys aren't experimenting. You're going right into your safe zones, comfort zones. So, this is going to allow you to break that. And what it allows you to do is use more of your brain. And less things bother you that bother you now. Except Vic always pisses me off, so that's okay. All right? You guys got the idea? Roll and teach.